that in detail. No? So today we will be seeing interface in some detail. Okay. So nothing. Yesterday I said that abstract class and interface are both same. Okay. There's no difference. And I also showed you that. So why we need an abstract class, so that we'll hide a few essential details, and that abstract class itself an abstract concept, so that you should not be able to create an object for that abstract class, so that we are creating an abstract class. So interface is also same actually. See, yesterday I told you abstract class. Okay, so abstract class means this is abstract class, and basically when we have abstract class, this becomes abstract concept, and you don't need to you don't need to create an object for that. Same interface also, it's like an abstract concept, and you don't need to create an you will not be able to create an object for it. Okay, but what is the difference then? What both are same, then what is the difference between interface and abstract class? Okay. So in current modern system, you'll be seeing interface used more than abstract class. So we even prefer only interface than an abstract. Okay. So why? First, I'll tell you. So abstract class can have abstract and non-abstract methods. Okay. So the method also in abstract class, you can have abstract. You can have an abstract method also. Okay. Abstract method is nothing but you should anyways implement it. Uh, so when you have a method in your abstract class or interface, you should definitely implement that method in your class that you are inheriting that abstract class. Okay, so if you have an abstract method, then you should implement that. Implement means you should create that. You should have that method also in your derived class. Okay, interface can have only abstract methods, and you cannot define it. Okay, let's say you see this error. You are seeing this error, no? It says employee.name must declare a body because it is not marked abstract. Basically, I'll tell you. Okay. These are all the difference actually. Okay. First, I'll tell you about all about abstract class. Okay. Write it down one by one. First, when you declare an abstract class, you don't need to create an object. Don't need to create object. Okay. Second, abstract class can have abstract methods as well as non-abstract methods. Okay. So what is abstract methods and non-abstract methods? This is an abstract method. Okay. And what is a non-abstract method? Void name. We'll put name 1. A non-abstract method should have a definition. Definition means you should create the function. You cannot simply create the method and leave it. Okay, this way you are creating a method and leaving it. Okay, you just left it. This way you are defining it. Okay, you are creating a method and you are defining it. What is the difference between abstract method and non-abstract method? In abstract class, if when you create a non-abstract method, you don't need to write this name 1 in the contract, in the derived class. In the derived class, you don't need to write it. Okay. Hmm? That we'll see. Okay. You don't need to write it, but when you are, I'll just put and show you this one second. Implement abstract class. Okay. So when you are creating a non-abstract method, it means you are just defining it here. you don't need to define it in your implement, or we say it as implement, but you don't need to implement or define it in your derived class. But when you are giving an abstract method, which means you abstract methods doesn't need a definition, but you should definitely implement in your derived class. You should implement using override, because this should be implemented. This should not be called. This is your base class, no? So when you create an object for your base class, you will not be contract class. You will not be able to call this. So you should override this. So when you put override, this method will be called instead of this name. Okay, this is abstract method. This, when you declare an abstract method, so you do not have a definition here, so you should implement it in your derived class. You can write anything here. I'm just simply putting throw exception, but you can write any code here. Okay, this is difference between abstract method and non-abstract method. Second, in abstract class, everything is public. You cannot do private. Okay, everything is public. So you should mention the public keyword. See, when I remove the public keyword, it threw error. It's saying virtual or abstract members cannot be private. Okay, so you should declare public. And one more thing is, in interface, multiple inheritance is possible. See, actually, I did this. I will show you that. So in interface, multiple inheritance is possible. Okay, so and coming which is not possible in abstract class. Class, you don't know, multiple inheritance is not possible. Okay, coming to coming to interface. Okay, so interface is also same. You cannot create an object for your interface. Then what else? What else is the difference? In interface, you cannot define any method. You cannot define any method. Any method you have in your interface should be abstract only, but you don't need to declare an abstract keyword. Second, anything in interface is by default private. You don't need to give a public keyword. Okay, and then and obviously rest is same. When you have a method in your interface, the derived class should implement it. See, same way when you have an interface method in your interface, the derived class should implement it, else it will throw error. It will throw error. See, it will say the error clearly. Contract does not implement interface method other name. See, and multiple inheritance is possible. See, this is multiple inheritance. One class inheriting two interface. Okay. So these are the difference between an interface and abstract class. So where do we use this interface in real-time scenario? See, both can be used in the same place, but why we choose interface over abstract class? I will tell you what. See, today in modern day scenario, so if you're working on a MVC, you will see that when you have a controller, in your controller you will not write your database connection. Okay, so you will write your database connection in a separate some people write it in a different way, but yeah, database connections, everything, database validations, all this be written in a separate class itself. Okay, so to connect this database class and your controller, in between we'll have the method. So what we will do is we'll have the controller. From there we'll call the class. But in between we'll have the interface. What we will do is we'll call the interface dot name. Okay. We'll call interface dot name. When you come to interface, you'll have the implementation alone. Definition will be written in that particular class. So we'll inherit that interface in the database class, and we'll do it. This is how we do it. Basically, controller, we'll have the controller where we'll basically what we will do is we will call the interface. Okay, interface dot name. So if we are passing anything, we'll pass. Okay, that's all. So in your interface, rest you will have this code. So in your interface, you will have the implementation, There will not be this is called declaration. You have the declaration of the method, and you'll have the in contractor, like in the database class, you'll write all the logic. So why do we do this? Okay, so we do this because usually for a long term run, we do not want to connect the database classes directly from your controller. Okay, so if there is any issue in later, if you want to change anything, we want this database class, all the methods to be common. Like maybe it can be used anywhere and everywhere. Okay, let's say you are connecting this database name directly from your controller, means tomorrow if there is any change to this name, your controller gets affected. No, if there is any change or any issue, your controller gets affected. Let's say from 10 controllers you are calling this name method. Okay, and there is some issue with this name method, means all your 10 controllers affected. Either you have to change it in your controller or you have to fix it in your name. That's a big process, no? 10 places you have to go and fix it, no? Instead I'll just comment it out. That's all finished, no? If I comment it out in an interface, there's no need for you to change in all the 10 places. Or you'll create what I'll do is I'll create a new method suddenly and just rename it here, so that your controller is calling this new method and your new method is ready to be called. That's all, no? So tomorrow if there is any issue, you don't need to change the whole logic. One second. Sorry. So tomorrow you don't need to make changes all over the controller or the method or everywhere. Okay, you just can add one more method, or you can easily call it finish, no? So the interface acts as an interface between your controller and your function, so that anytime, anywhere, if you have a changes or an issue, you don't need to do so much changes. So that's the only thing. We say it as loosely coupled. Okay, the main word why we go for interface, yeah, we can directly call the name. That's the question anyone will have. Why we need it in between? We can directly call the name and go, but that we call it as tightly coupled code. A tightly coupled code is you are directly depending on the name. Okay, tomorrow if there is any issue, I have to change the name. Only then all the issues will be rectified. Okay, instead of that, if I write a new one, okay, let's write a new method and call it again, you are tightly coupled. If there is any issue on this, again there is a problem. So instead of that, I'll have an interface. So anytime if there is any issue, I just simply change the interface and go. That's all. Okay. If I want to tomorrow, if I want my controller to call the other name instead of name, I let's say this is another perfect classic example. Let's say there are my many controller one. Okay. There are 6 controllers calling your name. Okay. But suddenly tomorrow they are asking you to call the other name. Now you are in a tightly coupled code. You have to go to all the 6 controllers and change the other name. Am I right?
Yes.
All the 6 controllers you have to go and change it to connect to other name, and you should see if it is compatible. Everywhere you are calling the other name correctly. Instead of that, if I have an interface, all the 6 control will be calling your interface. I'll simply, what I will do is I will just simply change it to other name. That's all. Your all the 6 controller will call other name directly. So my work is reduced actually. So is that clear? Like any questions?
No.
Any doubts you have?
Uh, yes. Still, I don't understand. Like, example of these controller 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hmm.
Oh,
Okay, I'll show you a real-time scenario. See, so this is a real-time scenario. I have these many controllers. So there are more than one controller now.
okay.
Okay. Real time will not have a single controller. You'll have more than like 1, 10, 100. Like these are the only controllers. I have still more. I have many controllers. If you see, where is this is admin. Hmm. Go here again. I'll have many controllers here also. So I cannot connect my controller directly to the database function. See, this controller, I cannot connect the controller directly to the database function. If there is an issue tomorrow, I do not want to get my controller gets affected. I do not want to change the code in my controller as well as in the function. No, I do not want to do that. Instead of that, I will always have an interface in between. See, this one goes and gets some data from the database. Okay, my controller, I want to get some data from the database. I will not connect to the function directly. Instead, what I'm doing is, see, this is an interface. I wrote an interface so that I have implemented a method, and then if you see, from there I will be calling the function.
Okay.
Uh, 1 second, there's something I should say. Ah, ah. So see, this is a function I wrote, and this function is inheriting from the interface. Now here I should implement the method. See, the method is here. So it has
Okay.
three in three places. I'm calling this. So if there is any issue, all the three places gets affected. No, if I'm directly calling,
Okay.
right? Instead, what I will do is I already have the interface. I'll just simply very straightforward. Okay, now you saw an example. Now how I am calling. I have many different controllers. Okay, I'm having a method. I'm having a method. This method is what you are calling to the database functionality from all the six controllers. Okay, right?
Okay.
Tomorrow there is an issue in the method. What will you do? I'm asking you. Tell me. There is an issue in
No.
this.
Um. Okay. First,
Real.
if this is in this method, uh, we can like directly change on that uh, controller when we have implement.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but you have to change in all six controllers, no?
Yes.
Then you have to fix the method also, no? If you are
Yes.
writing a new method, you need to check. You need to check all the six controllers is compatible in calling this new method, no?
Okay.
Not simply go and change call the new method, no? You should see that what data is coming, everything is fine and all, no?
Okay. But
If you, yeah.
when like if we create new method, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So confused like for this new method, like all of these six controller, it's maybe implementation is different, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So so is it required to create new method?
1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. Sorry, I got call. So you are asking like why we need to create a new method.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All 6 controllers need to get let's say full-time employee details. This is contractors. Now you have coded everything so tightly coupled. All the 6 controllers are calling full-time employees. Okay.
Okay.
Now suddenly we are changing the requirement. Hey, please change. No, we do not want full-time employees. We want the contractors. Now you all the 6 controllers should call the contractors. Now what you will do?
Okay.
Now you need to change in all 6 controllers, no?
Yes. Yes.
But if you have an interface, you don't need to change in all 6 controllers, no? You can just change in the interface alone, no? You can basically you will in the, let's say this is function, in between you'll have the interface.
Okay.
Interface you will be having FTE as well as contractors.
Okay.
You can you can simply change the controller so that you are calling the contractor. Okay. Tomorrow if there is anything added and you want to change it, your changes will be in only one place. That's the truth. If you are going to be tightly coupled, see, this is the very basic minimum example I am giving. There might be many scenario that tomorrow because of a change you might need to change in many places. Okay. You might need to change in like 3 controllers may not be compatible with contractors.
Okay.
Okay. Then you have to change whatever you have to do, like because you are directly calling you uh, let's say you are directly calling means you would have created an object for the class, you would have been calling that. There'll be so much things, no, you can not directly call an contractor or FTE function simply here in your controller. You should create an object. From that object you should call that method, and everything should be compatible. All those things you would have done, and all those things you have to change, right?
Okay.
You're not simply calling this FT, no. If you're creating an object, then you're calling that object, and you're that sending the value or sending calling the method. You are doing everything, no. So much code you have to change here. But if you are calling an interface, you're just calling an interface. That's all. You're just calling interface dot FTE. Tomorrow, if there is change, you'll just change it to contractors. That's all.
Okay.
So actually, that is the bare minimum usage of interface that we use. Mm, so we say that technically we say that uh, we have the implementation hiding. Basically, we security, we call it as security. Let's say that we tomorrow if anyone comes in, like if you're see what is a controller. You know what is a controller? Controller is something that receives the request from the browser, right? So when your controller receives the request from the browser, I can just sneak in into your see, controller works on URL, query string. Okay, controller
Yes.
works on query string. No, you accept
Yes.
that, right? Control is not a secured method.
Yes.
100% control is not secure. So I know your query string. So when you type, when you are in your application, if you are clicking on a button and that should go to a control, means you will see that query string in your query, that URL in your query string. So when you click on that, you are exposing your controller. So an hacker can easily come to your controller and find out which function you are hitting in, and he can. And one thing, function are very open. Like your methods or functions are open, so he can easily change the value and send it to your full time or contractor. No.
Okay. Yes.
So if you are having an interface in between, you are hiding your function actually. You cannot just simply go and let's say very simple. I'll show you. Okay, I'll show you this. I am in your controller. This is the best example. Actually, my senior told me when I was learning this. This is your controller. Okay.
Okay.
So in your computer, if you have a controller and if you have tried this, if you have interface in between, let's say basically this is my controller, I'm calling the function. Let's say I'm calling the function. If you control and click on this, it should go to the function, right?
Yes.
It will not go to the function. Whatever you do, it will not go to the function. It will go to the interface only. So
Oh,
anyone sneaks in, he cannot see the function actually. He cannot see what validation you have done, what code you are writing to get from database. That is security.
okay. Yes.
And why we go for an interface now?
Yes,
This is
yes.
one. And why we go for interface more? Apart from abstract class, 90% of the time you should give the definition here, right? You should not.
Oh,
You cannot give the declaration alone. You should do the definition. And if you are going to have a definition in the abstract class, using abstract class and the abstract class method, then the security is lost. No, you will be right, defining everything here itself. You will be writing the logic here itself. No, that is not needed. No.
oh, yeah.
So, and we can add abstract, but that's not actually people just went to interface. They saw that as easy, and people are using interface. And moreover, interface we can do multiple inheritance also. No, so you can create a two interface, and then both interface you can use it in the interface. You can use it here.
Okay.
Advantage, no, both
Yes,
interface you can use it multiple inheritance. So that is the real time usage of
yes, yes.
interface. Now you got it very clearly.
Yes, yes. Okay.
So that is why we go for an interface. So but we say that as loose coupling. We call it as loose coupling. And that when someone asks you why you are using an interface in between rather than you're calling directly, means we say that loose coupling. We do not want to directly connect with the function and expose that function. Instead of that, we are writing an interface in between, so that you're yet not exposing the function, as well as tomorrow if there is any change in the method, you can just simply come and change the um, in the controller alone, you can change and go, rather than just change everywhere, like all the implementation in your controller, like creating object and all, you have to change lots of code change. To avoid that, we are using this, as well as to hide your implementation. Done.
Okay. So we can say that abstract is tightly coupling, right?
Which one is tightly coupled?
Abstract.
Yes, abstract is tightly coupled, but you can also make abstract loosely coupled. How? Tell me what. Tell me how.
Mm, uh, if we okay, if we define abstract method in the abstract class, okay.
Right. Correct.
So yes, so we
But still,
can.
uh, but still, uh, that is one additional work. No. See,
Yes.
I will. If you ask me as an experienced um, developer, I will say that yes, you can go for interface, and which is same as abstract method. You can just declare it as an abstract method and go. But why we are not doing that is because again, it's something additional. You are making the abstract class is something that works only for normal methods. You are adding an abstract to make it work. You are pushing it to work as an interface. Rather, you can use the interface itself now. And more than that, interface is very weightless, so it's faster. That's the only thing. Interface is faster. Okay,
Okay.
so that's
Yes.
why we are using interface. But yes, very small application, you can still go and use the abstract method. You can have an abstract class and use an abstract method. The 100% it is um, same.
Okay.
I will not say there is any difference. 100% it's same, but you can use only abstract method. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
that is something with this one, and we have finished almost everything, and we have to see few small things. One more thing I wanted to tell you: when you are creating an interface, what you should do is follow this. Always add an I.
Okay.
This is not something that is defined by C# and all, but this is the coding practice we follow. I in front of it will change the color itself. You see, your C# knows if you add I, it is an interface, so it will change the color. So tomorrow, if you see, like let's say I showed you in this place, no, see this place. Because I see the I know, oh, I am inheriting from an interface. I know that. Just seeing
Okay.
this itself, I'll understand. I should not. I don't need to go click on this, go there, and find it and all. So if I do not have an I, the color will be same like this blue color, and I get somewhat confused. No, oh, what is this? It is an interface or an abstract class, like or a class. No. So interface, you add an I. Abstract class, you don't need to add anything because it's almost a class. No.
Okay.
Yeah. So what else we are going to see as a part of C# is now we are going to see enum and struct. So and we lastly we'll see the exceptions. So that with that we'll be finishing off with C#. So 1 second. So we are going to enums. What is an enum? So both enum and struct are actually same. Okay, they are same. Almost their operations are same. Enum is a special class. Okay, enum is a special class. Same way, struct is also special class. We will not see any difference. Okay. So first we'll say what I'll define what is an enum. So enum is a special class that represents group of constants. That represents group of constants. Struct is a special class. It will represent a group of constant, but you can assign value to the variable here. But you cannot assign value to the variable in your enum. It is constant. If you are declaring this, this is the variable. You cannot assign any variable. Struct, we'll see struct next. Yeah, but yeah, and enum means you are putting in constants like this. So basically, what kind of constants? That constant that don't change over your application. Basically, see, I have given the example: January, February, these kind of constants, low, medium, high, these kind of constants. Okay. So to create enum, it's very simple. Enum and given a name. That's all. And you can write anything within comma separated. That's all. How to access the enum? I already told you enum is a special class. Then how to how it's same as how you access a class.
Okay.
So how you access a class? You will create an object for a class, no?
Yes.
Same way. See, level, uh, level, object. That's all. This is how you access a class. So you create an you can create you can just create like this also. Level. This is how you access a class, no? This is an object,
Okay.
right? So this is how you access that constant. But why do you need to create an enum? Basically, why do we create an enum? So when you have some constants in your application, let's say uh, like these kind of constants, okay. The best example is these kind of January, February month constants and all only. Okay, I can easily say. Let's say your application is dealing with months. Okay, this is the best example I can give you. Your application is dealing with months means your user is giving some month. Okay, so every time you do not want to write that month and check. If you do not want to check if it is April, you do not want to dynamically check. You should statically check. Like very simple. Let's say you have code for all the 12 months. If your customer comes and asks for January, you should execute some set of code. Okay, I do not want you to write this. Okay, some string, let's say you have a string. Your user is giving this string month. Okay, this is what your user gave. Okay, you're reading with read key, or if it is a high level application, let's say he is typing it in an text box something. This is your month. So I do not want to write this way, month equal to January, and if January, I do not want to do this every time. This means every time I should give this January, February, and this is static. No,
Okay.
let's say tomorrow. Um, Tomorrow, if there is any change, let's say tomorrow if there is a, let's say by hypothetically I'm saying tomorrow if there is any change like in name of the January, okay, and you are writing this code in 10 places,
Okay.
all the 10 places you have to go and change, no.
Yes.
And one thing in C sharp, never ever use this static code, okay. This is not a good practice, okay. So instead of that, what we are doing is we create an enum, and we let's say if it like in most of the cases enums are used in switch only. So basically what we do is level dot low, it will if you're uh, let's say if it is January, level dot January, uh, month dot January, like that. And if your user is sending the value, it will equate, and it will do that particular code, okay. So basically it is kind of what instead of writing static code, you are giving it an dynamic value, so that you are calling that thing everywhere. That's all, very simple, okay.
Okay.
You are not writing a static code, because these are constants now that won't change anytime anywhere. So instead of writing that constants everywhere, you are putting it in a single place, so that you are referring it to it in everywhere, okay. That's it, very simple. And the advantage of using a constant is enum is enums, you not only, like let's say your user gives you low means, you can directly check level dot low. User gives January means months dot January, you can check. Same way, if your user says month 1 means, in your enum whatever you give, it gets ascending of integer value. See, January will become 0, February will be 1, and March I gave it as 6, so I'll tell you that. So here low is 0, medium is 1, 2 is high. If your user is giving 0, you can equate with that integer value also.
Okay.
It will accept that also. But let's say in this scenario, I'm saying there is no 0th month, no, it's first month is the first one. And if I put this as 1, everything will get updated. January will become 1, February will become 2, March will become 3. And you can also update in between. If I put 10 here, May will become 10, June will become 11. So you can do this also in enum. Got
Okay.
it?
Yes.
So enum is for just constant storing constants, nothing other than that. Yeah. Any questions on enums?
No.
Okay. And struct. So whatever I told for enum, it's same for uh, structure also. But structure is a special class. You do not store constants alone. Uh, Structure is a class, okay. Structure is a it's like a class, okay. It is used to represent a record. You don't need to store constants alone. You want to store a specific record somewhere. Let's say I want to store a coordinate x and y. I want to store it somewhere specifically and call it all the places, means I will create a structure. See that this doesn't have a value itself when I say. No, that's why you will not see structures and all that much in C sharp, because it doesn't have any value. What I'm saying that okay, you have some concept like coordinate kind of concept. Instead of uh, uh, this coordinate can change anytime. Okay, fine. January, February, March will not change anytime, no.
Yes.
But coordinate will change anytime. but coordinates are x and y only, x axis, y axis, right? This is the actually this is one perfect example. More than that, I could never think of anything in coordinate. But yeah, so this is not going to change anywhere, no. X and y will not change, but the value of x and y will change everywhere, no.
Yes.
So in these scenarios we use coordinate. You can assign values to x and y also. That's all. See, it's same. You can create a class and go, I would say, but simple. See, it 100% same as class. No, you see any difference?
No.
It's same like class, but structure you can store it somewhere and you can use it. It is like an enum. They say it is like an enum, but they would do not want to confuse a class and a record. This is like an let's say a structure is like your record room where each book will have a particular record. So if you want that, you go and take that record. That's all. Class is like something you write all the logic. Okay, so you cannot create a class and store a record. No, so that's what they say actually. Why we are going for a structure instead of a class? What's the difference between a structure and class? So structure is like a record. You store some records there. That's all. Not only coordinates. Let's say you are dealing with some book application. I can create a structure for books. All the book details I have it. So every book you can. Let's say library. Okay, library. So what all details you have about books, we will have it here. Book name. Sorry. Book name, book ID. So you have it, and wherever you want, just call the structure and store that value and reproduce in that class. That's all. It is like a record book. That's all. That is called structure. So you already used simple structure named like this. No, we have used here. So structure in C# are quite different from that in traditional C and C++. So structure here have these facilities. We can only compare it with C and C++ because here it is almost same like class. So structures basically can have fields. These are all fields, as you can see. You can even have methods. Same whatever I'm saying. No, you can replicate that with a class. Whatever class has, structure has. Structure can have constructors. Same. You can define a default constructor. Same as class. Only one difference that you don't see that with the classes and structure is, unlike classes, structure cannot inherit other structures or classes. Inheritance is not possible with structure because this is just a record. It is not a class where you um, write a definition. Got it?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So actually, these are the until now these are all the C# concepts. But before going to next one, I would always like to refresh on few things called your collections. Okay, so you know about collections, right? You are working on frameworks. Do you know about list, dictionary?
Okay.
You know,
Yes.
so basically, see, list. Okay, so list, dictionary, these are all collections. Okay, what is collection basically? Collection is that store an specific data. It's like a data table or data set. Okay, collection is to store data in C sharp. Okay, so we have many collections. If I have to go for like data structures and all, we'll have like lots of collections. List, dictionary, hash table. I can name it whatever I want. Okay, the difference between these collections are very small. Maybe like how you store the data. So I will tell you, like in this modern world, what all collections that we are using. Okay, we use list. After the evolve of MVC, we are using only list. Actually, to be honest,
Yes.
did we are we using hash table? No, we are not using hash table, but we are using data table. Why we are not using hash table kind of things? Okay, hash table. Okay, hash table is also when collection that stores key value pairs like dictionary. Okay, so but hash table cannot be null. Okay, hash table cannot be null at all at any time, but the values inside the hash table can be null. This is not at all possible to be used in our current day scenario. Let's say today I'm getting a value from your database with a query, and I want to store that in your hash table. Let's say uh, that can be no data also, no, that scenario also I have to consider, no. One day I will get 100 records means someday if there is no sales I will not get any record. Your hash table will throw error. You cannot store that in your hash table. It will throw error. It says hash table cannot be null. You should store some data. So that is one problem with the hash table, that we do not use hash table actually. This became a problem and we stopped using hash table. But yeah, I will tell you it is very how to use it and all. It's 100% similar. Collections are all same. I'll tell you. Okay, you can just replace the collection name alone. First, we'll see what is an dictionary. A dictionary, you already know, it's a key value pair. Basically, you will have a key, and for that key, you will have a value. How to declare dictionary? It's like a dictionary. Okay, you have to do string, comma, string. You should give the key value data types. Dictionary, string, comma, string. You have to give the key value data types. I have defined in two different ways. First, we'll see this, how to define a dictionary. I have a key value, same like that of defining an class. No, it's very same. But you are giving the data type alone. And then how to add data to the dictionary? Very simple. My dictionary dot add the key value pairs. That's all. This is the syntax you are going to use for all the collections. That's all. Straightforward, I will tell you. This is the only syntax that we are going to use for all the collections. Okay, and this is one way, same like arrays. You can do dictionary, and here in the open close brackets you can add it how many ever you want. And I told you this is the common way of adding data, no. You can
Yes.
do this way also, and add all the data. I'm saying this is the two ways you are going to use to add the data to all your collections. Just look at this. Okay, just look at this. I'll copy this and I'll show you. Okay, I copied this. I'm going to make this as a list. A list will hold only one data type of data, so it will not have key value pairs. That's all. Okay,
Okay.
it is list. Done. I'm going to replace this with list. Done. I'm going to store only string. Okay, just remove this. You don't need this because only one data we are going to store. No,
Okay.
one data. Done. See, same implementation, but here we are storing two data key pairs. We are storing as pairs. Here we are not storing as pairs, so only one data we are giving at a time. That's all. Only a string. You can have int, anything, but you can, if saying string and you cannot store int, that is not possible, and that will throw error.
Okay.
This is list, and let's say this one again. This implementation, we go for list. I want only to have string. Okay, done. My dictionary list. Okay, done. Change it to list. Then I want only string. I'm going to store only my dictionary list dot add. Okay, add and only. See, the implementation is 100% same. No,
Yes.
that's all. Very simple. This is how you are going to store data in collection. Dictionary means key value pairs, and list means a single data. And list is what you have to see through. List is what you are going to use all over hereafter. List is the main thing. Okay, that's all. And If I say hash table is also key value pairs, but you do not want in hash table. One advantage is you don't want to give an the data type before itself. That's all. So tell me how to add data to a hash table. What is the syntax?
Yes. Dot it.
Dot add.
Add, yes.
Yeah,
And yeah, direct value. Yes.
value. So hash table will have key value. So let's say a comma welcome.
Okay.
Sorry, 2 comma. That's all. This is hash table. Done, no? It's easy, no?
Yes.
That's all. Collections are these are collection. So when someone asks collection, like in my starting period also, I did got afraid of collection, but collections all have same syntax. There's no different in syntax. The name only gets different, and their functions get different. Like features get different. Dictionary will hold two data key value. String will not hold only one data. That's all. Hash table will hold two data key value. That's all.
Okay.
Very simple, no? So that is how we uh, call in a collection. So let's say I have the string. Okay, I have the list. How to print all the values in the list? Okay, you can go for a for each. Very simple. For everything you can go for a for each. For each string of item in big cities. Let's simply do this.
Okay.
Any questions?
Is like I have here like a generic collection. Is there any difference? Like,
Okay, what is a generic collection? Okay, list can be generic basically. Okay, you can make a list generic. Okay, basically what is a generic collection is you do not know the data type. That's what. Now you know the data type. I'm saying that here it's a string. I know that I'm saying dictionary. It is like int and string or string and string. Means so you know the data type. But if you don't know the data type, that is the generic collection. Okay. So what we do in generic collections basically hash table is a generic collection. See, I'm not giving the data type. I can give whatever I want here. I can even add a 10 here.
okay,
You cannot do that in a dictionary. No, you have to mention the data type.
okay,
Array list is a generic collection. Okay, there's something called array list. You just note these down and try all these. Array list.
okay,
Implementation is same. I want you to do try the implementation. Array list is same, but you array list will is like a okay. I just give this. Okay. I want you to array list will have an data type. Array list doesn't need a data type, but both are same. It will hold one data. Okay. Hash table dictionary here. It needs a data type. Same implementation key value plus hash table doesn't need a data type. That's all. You got it?
okay.
Yeah. Anything else?
No, no.
Yeah. So that is how we are going to use these things. So basically, we are done with uh, our C sharp. So we'll start with our SQL from tomorrow. So you have SSMS.
SQL.
Uh,
Like basic like how to create table, inserting records, some, and like
As part of our course, we'll take full SQL session.
uh,
You want
like
SQL? Yeah, everything. Basically, from creating a table, creating database until like constraints, index, um, the
some.
store procedures, functions, triggers.
Yes, actually, we like current project we use SP, so I know how to create SP and calling the
Okay, so
and
you don't
how.
need SQL.
Yes, but some advanced need like what
Advanced, like what you
one
want.
minute. Uh, like views, index, trigger,
Yeah.
and like some advanced concept. So I don't knowledge about indexes.
Uh huh. Okay. So,
Also like what is trigger? I don't know triggers and cursors. And
okay.
then SP I have knowledge about basic, but there is also in parameterize SP
Okay.
how to pass and how to calling via using the C sharp code function.
Okay. You need ADO.NET. How
Uh,
to call and store proc from your C
uh,
sharp.
like
Okay.
parameterize SP, simple SP
Parameters.
I don't know. Yes.
So we'll see these all topics. First, I'll start with index. Okay.
Okay.
Constraints. I'll start with constraints and index. You should need to know the constraint, so only you'll understand an index. Constraint is basically primary key, unique key, candidate key, default check. These are all the constraints. Only if you understand this thoroughly, you will know why we are going for an index. Index is clustered index, non-clustered index. There are only two types of index in SQL. And then we'll go for store procedures. So store procedures, normal store procs, and then parameterized store procs, how to call them from C sharp, and we'll see functions. So what is a function and difference between a function and store procedure, and then we'll see triggers. So how to add triggers to the tables, um, and we'll see how to write store procedures in advance. So see,
Yes.
if you ask me SQL, there are like not much things, but these are the things. Uh,
Yes, and also like joins. We use like inner joins or day to day, but some like
left
also what types of join I forgot.
left
Uh,
join, right join,
yes,
outer join.
but I'm like bit confused about how where to use left, right, or
Okay.
full. So
Okay,
like
then
real,
joins also I'll
uh,
take. Yeah.
yeah. So real scenario. That's I'm just taking out.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. That we can.
Yes, query and subqueries we have also.
Okay. Okay. So I'll start with joins. That's the first thing. We'll start with joins, then all these things, and then we'll also do this in store proc. You can write if conditions, while loops, and all you can
Yes,
write in store proc. That also
yes,
we'll
yes,
see.
yes, yes, yes.
Okay, that we'll see. So yeah.
Okay.
So but by the way, I never asked you like where are you working? Like Bangalore or you are in some other place?
Now, actually, uh, my company is from Ahmedabad, Gujarat,
Mm-hmm.
and where I am working like a Pune-based client. It's in Pune.
Oh, you are in Pune now.
Now, currently, I am in Porbandar and working from home.
Okay, okay. So you are in
Uh,
Gujarat, no? Okay,
yes, yes, and client is in Pune.
okay, okay. Fine, fine. Yeah. What's your company?
Yes, Zenkins, Zenkins.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
I never asked you that, so I thought of asking.
Yes.
So, fine. We'll see tomorrow. We'll start with the SQL to
Okay.
my.
Also, I like figure out what types of the topics for SQL. So we will I will share via WhatsApp or
Yeah, sure. Send them in the WhatsApp. See, anyways, whatever you are telling, no, whatever you told, no, these are all my syllabus in my SQL already. But if you, as you do not want that create tables, those kind of things, I'll just
yes,
skip them and I'll just take them. These are all in my
yes,
syllabus.
yes,
Yeah. Anyways,
yes,
yeah.
yes, yeah.
So nothing to worry. But if you find something you want something specifically, also put that in WhatsApp. We'll cover it up.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay, Jignesh. We'll see
Yeah,
you tomorrow. Thank you.
yeah. Thank you. Okay.